This is Ian Williams for VNUnet, and we're here today to show you the Sony Ericsson Xperia X1. Now, this is the first model in Sony's new premium Xperia range. And as you'll notice, it differs slightly from Sony Ericsson's standard mold. In fact, it uses a lot more standards than is traditional for Sony Ericsson. For instance, it uses Windows Mobile instead of Sony Ericsson's normal operating system, and has a few other features such as mini USB instead of Sony's normal proprietary interface. As mentioned before, the device runs Windows Mobile, but it has a little skin over the top, something Sony Ericsson likes to call panels. Basically, this is 9 little mini customizable screens, allowing users to be able to place their favorite applications available on the front screen. Unfortunately, the panel's interface is a little slow and clunky, so for instance, when selecting a panel, it can take several seconds for the panel to load before you can actually do anything. This means that most users are probably going to end up leaving it on the single panel they use the most, which kind of defeats the object. Underneath that is pretty much standard Windows Mobile. For those people who like Windows Mobile, they'll pretty much be able to get to grips with it very quickly. The casing itself is made out of solid brushed metal. It means the device feels very solid in the hand, and although some people may find it a little bulky, we reckon it's, for a fully featured smartphone such as this, it's actually pretty compact. It does also feature a slide-out keyboard, and the slides is very solid. It won't be breaking anytime soon. The keyboard has some very nicely spaced keys, but in order to get that space in between the keys, they've had to sacrifice the number row along the top. The keys feel quite good to the touch, except it can be very difficult to get to the very top row, even for people with slender fingers. There's also a 3.2 megapixel camera, which we actually found to be very impressive, although the little LED flash leaves a lot to be desired. But for daylight shots, it's perfectly good. As mentioned earlier, there's a few standards that Sony Ericsson have adhered to this time around. For instance, the 3.5mm jack for listening to your music as well. All in all, we found the Sony Ericsson X1 to be a pretty good device, but given that it's supposed to be a premium phone, we just found far too many little faults and little niggles for us to really be able to recommend it. That said, however, it does bode well for the Xperia range, and we look forward to seeing the X2 or whichever the next model up in the Xperia range Sony Ericsson brings out. This is Ian Williams for VNUnet, signing off.